Fernandez here at MLH Media, and we are here today with Mr. Arnold Jimenez over there in the, I would say, kind of representing the Orange County, Los Angeles area, but representing very strongly. I mean, this man has amassed a impressive 10-3 record so far in his mixed martial arts career, now looking to possibly make that 11-3 when he heads over there to Lights Out over there on December 7th, taking on Keenan Lewis in what looks to possibly be the first defense of his title over there. How you doing today, Arnold?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Hey, it's always a great time when I get to speak to athletes of such of your caliber, and even greater time when I get to speak to a guy like you, man. Great pleasure getting to speak to you last time after your win over Hector Fajardo. What have you been up to in the meantime, though, since we last got to speak to each other? Because, I mean, that's been almost a whole year now, since January, and you've gotten a win in that meantime, captured a belt in a whole other promotion. Can you kind of just talk about what you've been up to?
Yeah, man. So after Hector, I fought for Lights Out. So that's what I'm fighting for next. That's I'm defending my Bantamweight title belt. But I actually ran into you and we talked in LA for an amateur card. What card was it?
Yeah, it was out over there for Herb Dean's promotion.
Yes. Yeah, that's where I
Yes,
ran into you.
Proving Grounds. Yeah,
Yes.
you're over there cornering
You're
someone.
eating the Wagyu burgers. How was that?
Yeah, it was amazing,
Mashburger.
man. It was amazing. I couldn't complain, I mean, I think we both demolished that thing within at least like 5 minutes. So you were in the off season though, so I can't blame you. I was just a hungry young reporter out there, watching the fights. But no, that was definitely a good time over there, over that
That was
Proving
good.
Grounds and for Herb Dean's promotion. And then you got to also kind of watch some fights outside of just the usual suiting up, going in there and handling business. So how was that kind of getting to watch, especially in that environment? Because it's kind of a different type of atmosphere over there. Got the cars, got the whole thing going on. What was your thoughts about that event?
No, it's cool. I like watching a lot of the amateurs. So now I have a lot of amateurs that help out at our gym at Original Grappler Training Center in Riverside with me and Georgie Karakanyan. We have a couple of amateurs, Israel Salazar and Isaac. They've been fighting for Up Next and Lights Out. And I've been helping them. So whenever they're fighting, I'm always there supporting. They're always helping me in my camps. So I always help them out.
Over there at OG kind of training center, that's as I like to call it. And you guys recently got a new kind of addition over there. I would kind of say as a recent, Jason Granado had went over there getting some work in. How was that to kind of get to see? I believe he had actually fought that night. I believe the night I was over there, and then went over there into OG training center, and now is over kind of like how you said you're seeing kind of some of the people going in and out of the doors. How is that to be one of those guys that's now kind of the one main OG staples over there, and like now how you said you're the guy in the corner, you're the guy coaching when you used to be the guy getting coached up.
No, for sure. Yeah, Jason's really good, man. He's a really good striker. So he's been coming. He's a Muay Thai guy, so he's doing MMA now. So he's coming and cross training with us over at OG to get his wrestling and jiu-jitsu down. He also comes to Millennia. That's my home gym where I like my pro training. My pro team is over there, and we train there. But we also have practices over at OG. So we cross train everywhere.
I believe you're kind of in one of the I always tell everyone, man, like everyone always talks about certain areas in the, like Dagestan, all this, but man, Orange County and like that Riverside and like that California area, like just overall, like being in like Orange County or Southern California, you have one of the biggest advantages in terms of gyms. I mean, you were kind of one of the like main speaking points of it. You not only get to train over there at Millennia, which is like your main MMA team, but you're also going to get looks from guys over there like the training lab with, I mean, Coach Cal and, with Juan and with TJ, with like Cub, with so many guys. I mean, there's like I could go down the list. There's a plethora of names. How is that to kind of be a part of those rooms and to just overall soak in that knowledge as you're developing your own career, as you're kind of climbing up the ladder and possibly looking to build up a resume going into that UFC or, maybe rising, possibly making a trip over there overseas?
No, hell yeah, that would be awesome, bro. Yeah, it's dope, man. I take things from everyone, from all my training partners. I take things from all of them, and I just take what I like from each one of them, and I'm bringing it to my own. It's almost like I almost feel like I started my career backwards. Like I got to see a lot of my friends, and I helped them. Like I was like a main training partner for a lot of guys, like Georgie Karakani and Saeed Awad. Like just those two guys, they have like over 40 Bellator fights. And for a long time, I was the one watching or mimicking their training partners. And then I got to help TJ a lot. Juan Archuleta, I helped him a lot too. Brian Ortega. So I mix in, I got to see high level things from each one of these guys, and I got to watch them prepare, how they act, what the things, little things that they do to help them, and so I take little things from everyone.
No, and that's super interesting that you mentioned that because I kind of thought about that as well. Because I don't think a lot of guys, when they first start off their career, are so used to training partners like that. I don't think they're entering rooms and, like how you said, Brian Ortega, who probably just fought for a title, like, you know, a couple like months ago, when you're like just barely getting some work in with him, or you got guys like that are just barely coming off of huge fights, and you're like, I just had a pro fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just a couple fights in or whatever. You're just barely building in your career, and obviously now, you know, you got your feet kind of pretty wet in the ground here in your professional MMA career, but how was that kind of, like how you said, almost building backwards? Because I don't really think that's a common thing that you're seeing in the MMA world nowadays.
Yeah, man, I got to see like a lot of things that, I mean, some these guys had, all my friends, like they had great careers, and they still have great careers, you know. So it's not many things like bad things, but there's things that they've learned that I learned off of them, so that I don't have to do the same mistake. I don't have to, you know. So I got a lot of good people around me, bro. I'm blessed, bro.
You
I also
recently
spent,
continue.
yeah, I also
No.
spent a lot of time with Dwayne. I was out there in Colorado for 3 weeks training with him.
Yeah, go into that experience. How was it over there? I know it's a little bit of a higher elevation. I know Chili's super popular over there in Colorado. How are you taking in the environment over there? I heard the weeds over there is crazy too. I mean, it's a crazy environment over there in Colorado.
Yeah, actually, their wax is better than their weed. I think California has the best weed for sure.
A controversial opinion there.
But yeah, I love Colorado. I used to live there 2016, 17, a little bit of 18. And I was out there when Muscle Farm was there. So I know a lot of people out there. I got like my whole Bang Muay Thai family. And I also cross train over there with High Altitude and Bang Pound for Pound Muay Thai. So there's a bunch of gyms that I get to see, and a lot of high level guys. Like I was just out there training with Brandon Roval, the 25er UFC guy.
Yeah, Brandon.
I got to train with him. That was cool. And there's a lot of guys coming up out there, man. So I spent a lot of time in Colorado and here.
It's a budding scene over there too, and especially, I mean, I think they legalized as well with the one championship rule set, so now they have the availability to be able to do so many different things. And I mean, that's kind of another question that I was leading into with your fight as well. This is the first fight that you now get to kind of throw those 12-6 elbows. Some of the rules get changed with the grounded opponent, and you know, I've watching some of your fights, man. I know that you definitely are pretty excited to incorporate some of those elbows, incorporate some of those strikes. What are your thoughts about the rule changes and about everything changing overall in the mixed martial arts scene and the kind of rule sets?
I like it, man, because I feel like there's so much confusion with some of the rules. So now that you just take it out, like there's no more confusions, you know, like. So I like it better, and well, because I like using my elbows too, so for sure.
No,
So
and
now,
that's what I was thinking. I was like, dude, watching your fights back, I was like, Arnold's probably jumping up and down when CSAC made that announcement. When Uriah Faber dropped that video, you were probably beaming with joy.
no, for sure, yeah, because when you're throwing, you know, like in the heat of the moment, you just want to hit them, you know, so you got to think about it, place it right. So now you could just throw them, you know. So
Has that been something? Has that been something too that now? I mean, you're kind of, I like how we've been stating, you're part of some of the top gyms kind of in the world. I mean, has that been something now you even have to incorporate in your own training? Like, okay, this is something that guys can use against me now. You know what I'm saying? Because that was something that maybe you weren't having to think about before, and now I think a lot more guys are, like how you said, you're going to start to use it a little bit more to your advantage, especially guys that have that super heavy top game. I mean, you're someone that definitely, like, when you get on top mount, I mean, it's going to be really hard to shake you off. Like, do you think you're going to kind of see a lot more of these guys start to utilize that kind of strong, like, elbow and just ground and pound game, similar to kind of maybe back in the day that you've seen a little bit? Or do you think the rule set won't really change the style that we've seen in MMA so far?
No, for sure I will, because now I think people are going to start throwing elbows more, you know, instead of holding back. And especially like in mount, you know, like how John Jones was throwing them on I forgot who he fought. No, the one he got disqualified for.
Oh, Hamill, yeah, Matt Hamill.
Yeah. So like going on mount and start hammering those, like that's gonna be awesome.
No, for sure. And I think it's definitely going to be quite the treat to see, especially in, like how you said, like in so many different kind of arrays of combat. Like, I mean, we've seen one championship kind of get the rule sets, like, change, but now being able to see that within every single MMA organization, now even down to the regionals, it's pretty cool. I know UFC, obviously, that's what everyone's looking at, but I'm looking at the regional scene. I'm seeing guys like you, they're now being able to utilize those elbows, utilize kind of more of your limbs, and not even that, but also kind of looking at the grounded opponent rule. Now it's I believe it's if they have one limb down or something like that, then it's technically a grounded opponent. But if they have both limbs, I mean, if they have both limbs down, it's a grounded opponent. If they have one limb down, then technically they're no longer grounded. Like, that's kind of I mean, like how you said, different rule set, different kind of switch up from what I believe a lot of people kind of were taking advantage of before.
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, because it's crazy because like I'm used to getting Juan's. I've been helping Juan for the last 2 3 years. Like he's like my main training partner, and I was his main training partner. And he throws the soccer kicks. So like when we're sparring, like he'd be throwing soccer kicks. He'd be like stomping on me, like. So I'm used to the kicks coming at me, and I was training that too, like giving him looks. So I wish I want to be able to like throw some soccer kicks and throw some stomps.
No, and that's kind of like, I'm like, dude, this is like, I knew this is obviously going to not only benefit guys like, that have coming over from that Japan scene, because I mean, we're seeing now guys like Kyle Sakura coming in and obviously making their UFC debut up here pretty soon. Juan's expressed interest in possibly making a little bit of a UFC run, and I think that like how we've been saying, it could definitely change up a lot of big things. But come December 7th over there at the Thunder Studios, lights out for Lights Out 21, my apologies. Got Arnold Jimenez over there taking on Keenan Lewis. What are your thoughts on this matchup going into it? I mean, a pretty big matchup for your career. Possibly can make you 11-3 overall. What are your thoughts before going into this championship possible retainment?
Yeah, man. When I first heard, I wasn't too excited with the matchup. I wanted to get someone that's like UFC caliber or someone coming out of the UFC, someone like with a big name. But he's actually on a five-fight win streak, so I mean, he's a good opponent right now. And I watched a little bit about him. I let my coaches watch and tell me what I need to watch out for. But yeah, he seems tough. He comes from a good gym. I know he trained. He was actually coaching against me my last fight, so it's interesting. So I know he has a little idea of what he can do, what he thinks he can do. So that should be fun. But yeah,
And
he's a
that's
tough opponent. He actually has a win over what's his name is Chiwiwi's little brother, Raul Gonzalez. He has a win over his little brother. So he's on a five-fight win streak. So it should be a good fight for me.
Yeah, no, and I find it interesting too, because like how you say he's got that win over Jesse Rosas, but then like how you stated, he's also kind of been in the corner when you had your last fight and when you were able to get that win over Rick Salata. Was that kind of something of interest that you're talking to your coaches about? Like, man, like they keep on sending me over these Saxon Muay Thai gym guys, man. Like, what's up? They don't like me, or what is it, man? Because no, I'm just kidding. But obviously it was a little bit funny of the matchup, right?
No, yeah, bro, I've never been able to like pick and choose my opponents, bro. Like I never had a promotion behind me. Like I go and fight whoever is available. Like when I fought A1, bro, you were there. Like I fought, you were our favorite guy. You think they brought me to win?
As a definitely you're going into a enemy territory over
Yo,
there in Sacramento,
my
especially.
whole fight career, I've always, I've never been able to pick and choose any guys. Whoever's available is like that's all I got. I don't have like a promotion behind me that's building me. That fight this tomato can to build me. I never got built up. I just fought whoever was available, where promotion was available, and I'm just trying to stay busy.
Is there any chance that we can get to see Arnold Jimenez get to defend this championship belt? If you're able to walk out on this, scot-free December 7th, looking into 2025, can we kind of see you become a main staple over there at Lights Out Fighting? Because it's not too far from you over there in Riverside, not too much of a drive. It could kind of be a home promotion for you in a sense. Could we expect to see you more over there?
I'm not too sure, man. I think I'm ready to make the next leap in my career, man. I'm not here to be like a lights out champion. I feel like I'm ready to compete with some of the best guys in the world, and that's what I'm looking for.
Has there been any kind of discussions on possibly, entering into that? Like, I know your record definitely qualifies for like a Dana White Contender Series S kind of, pool, or possibly entering into like a, possibly a tough situation like the Ultimate Fighter. Would you be interested in a format like that? I know some guys are kind of in a little bit in opposition, especially because, you may have to fight 3 times within a certain amount of time. What would be your thoughts behind entering the UFC, or, maybe entering a one championship overseas? I know you've expressed your interest over that with, or maybe a Ryzen, what would kind of be your path that Arnold Jimenez would look to take?
No, I would love to go to the UFC, bro. That's like what when I first started, it was always the UFC. So that's always been my goal, to go to the UFC.
And then for you, it must be, I mean, it kind of must feel even more so like a storybook, because they're going to be down the street for you almost over there pretty soon in January, right?
Yeah,
Intuit
man.
Dome.
I'm hoping they got a lot of 35ers on that card, and I hope one of them gets hurt, so they call me, and I'm gonna stay ready. So you ain't gonna catch me unprepared. I promise you.
I was just about to say that.
I'm waiting for a late notice call. Anything, I'll be ready.
And there's been kind of discussions about the UFC coming over here more to California, not only to the Intuit, but also, I mean, I believe they had signed a deal with the Honda Center, and so there is a possibility of you, not only you, but also kind of your buddy Juan Archuleta. I know you guys are super, super close, possibly making that leap into the UFC. Is there any chance that we could see both you gentlemen enter in 2025? I think that would be a pretty cool story over there in SoCal.
Yeah, for sure. I would love that. I'm not 100% sure, but I think Juan's a free agent right now, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, man, that's I would love Juan for like, and for him, someone top 15 right away, top 10 right away. That's what he needs.
It would be a pretty cool story, especially considering, all these kind of Bellator guys looking for places to go. I mean, we've recently seen a lot, even these guys over there in PFL. So it's good to see that Juan kind of was not a part of that situation and has a little bit more of that freedom and is able to.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's fucked up. I've seen a lot like Patchy Mix. I get to train with Patchy Mix a lot too. He comes here to my jiu-jitsu gym I train at Peerless. And, he hasn't been able to fight. I've also just seen Patricio Pippo complaining, like these guys are all high-level champions, in their prime. They need to make some money. It's fucked up that they have them freezed up.
Yeah, and they're getting held back, and I'm not trying to even hold you more back. I know you got your family over there. You're just trying to spend some time with them outside of the training, trying to go hang some Christmas lights. So only a couple more minutes here. Really, really appreciative of your time here today, Arnold. It's been a great pleasure getting to catch up with you before this championship bout over there at Lights Out Fighting over there on December 7th. But is there any kind of final messages that you kind of want to end off with? I know you have some obviously big aspirations for what is to come in 2025, but is there anybody else that you kind of wanted to thank for these last couple months? I know we were talking a little bit before the call. You recently went on a trip to Morocco. You've been an active guy in 2024. You've been traveling. But anybody that you kind of wanted to thank in this last year, man?
Yeah, all my training partners, man. One guy that's been helping me a lot is my pad holder. His name is Eddie Lopez, and we've been training. He was one of my training partners, main training partners when I first moved to Denver. He was actually one of Dwayne's guys too. He's like knows the whole system, and he's always been my brother. But now like we're actually got a system. We got like 3 times a week. We meet up, we train. Like he's been helping me a lot. And then like Georgia Caracanyan, he's been always since I was 15 years old. He's always been like a big brother, guiding me the right way. And definitely Juan Archuleta lately, he's the one coming through for me, always putting little things in my head, guiding me to, the right path. And, I'm blessed, bro. I'm really blessed with the kind of guys I got around me.
Definitely got a bright group around you over there, Mr. Arnold Jimenez, as he looks to go into his first ever possible championship retainment over there of the Lights Out Bantamweight Championship. Keenan Lewis, Arnold Jimenez, Lights Out 21, December 7th, 2024, over there at Thunder Studios. Thank you so much for your time today, Arnold. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to speak with you before this championship belt. As always, my man, maybe we can, perhaps get a burger after if, you get that win. We may have to see if we can beat our old time.
No, for sure. Hell yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty, my man. Michael Hernandez, MLH Media. We are going to be signing out.
All right, bro. Have a good one.